We are back for another episode of this podcast. So thanks for tuning in. Let's get started. Let's get into it, man.
You haven't said the name of the podcast. You didn't even say the name of the podcast.
Wait, I didn't.
Are we recording?
What's up, guys? Welcome to our recording. I'm Gage Sutton. It's the young Rottweiler, Ethan Hamilton, as always.
Right.
And sorry we didn't post last week. We were busy. Actually, Ethan was busy in another country. So Ethan, do you want to tell us a little bit about your trip and who you took on this trip?
You know what? I think I will. I feel like I owe the audience at least that fact.
Yeah.
So for the reason why we didn't post last week, right? So for the whole week since today is Wednesday, the 22nd. Yes.
Yeah.
So since the last Tuesday night, I've been in Argentina. I went to Argentina to see some family, and also I went to Lollapalooza in Argentina for the very first time. It's something I've always wanted to do because every time I go down there, like I'll either go like the week before Lollapalooza or the week after, and I always tell myself like, damn, if the lineup is really good, if they have somebody I want, I should totally try to go one year, right? Because I think 2 years ago it was Kendrick Lamar, like during COVID, and that's something I really wanted to go to, and I'm mad I missed out on seeing Kendrick. And then I think last year it was I think Travis Scott. Let me check real quick, but this
It was
year,
in Argentina. He was in Argentina last year.
yeah, I think it was
Oh wow.
Travis Scott. Let me check real quick and check my sources. But I think
Yeah, I mean the Lollapalooza lineup's always
I'm a
really
liar. It was
awesome.
ASAP. Last year was ASAP.
ASAP Rocky. Okay, I
Last
mean
year was
still.
ASAP, Miley Cyrus, The Strokes, Doja Cat, and Foo Fighters.
What? That's a
As far as
crazy lineup.
I know, it was a really good lineup,
That's
and I in
crazy.
my head I'm like, man, like first they had Kendrick, then ASAP. I was like,
It's
I
not
really
gonna
want to
get any
go.
better than that, right? It can't
No,
get better
but
than that.
can't at all. But
But
until I think it was like December or January, they announced the lineups for this year's of Lollapalooza in Argentina, and it was Drake. Drake was on the lineup. The lineup for this year was for Friday. It was Drake, Rosalia. Saturday it was Blink 182, Tame Impala, and Sunday it was Billie Eilish and Lil Nas X. I saw the lineup, right? And so in my head, I'm like, you know what? Like, what if like I'm lucky enough where I'm able to go to Argentina and see family at least like once or twice a year. So I'm like, you know what? Like, just fuck it. Like, let's go. Like, let's go. So I messaged a group chat with you guys, the guys that you've seen on the podcast for the audience, and I was like, hey, like if anybody wants to go, like let me know. This would be a fun thing to do. It falls a little earlier, like I think the weekend before, like Texas State's spring break. So it's like I know y'all might have class, but we're all upperclassmen, so like nobody really should have class on Fridays anymore. If that, they'll only be missing like one or two classes. So I was like, you know what, like just fuck it. Like who wants to come? And
nobody, nobody wanted to go.
nobody wanted to come, unfortunately, except for one person, and that
And
was
who
Mr.
was?
Travis. It
Oh,
was Travis LaFall, man.
Travis LaFall.
Surprisingly,
Yeah.
Travis was like, you know, fuck it. Like I've never traveled before. Like I'll go. Fuck it. So he bought his own ticket. Came with me and my family. Stayed with me and my family. We stayed at a hotel for the most part for the trip because honestly, like I have no problem bringing my friends around my family. But like if I'm bringing him out the country for the first time, I want to show him as much of the country as I can. Like I don't want him to like be cooped up. Like I wouldn't necessarily stay in the suburbs because like Argentina really doesn't have suburbs like that. But like I didn't want him to be cooped up in my family's house.
Yeah, yeah, I get
Whereas
it. I get
like
it. It makes sense. Like he is the visitor and you want to show him around and be a good good host. Um but let's talk about Travis for a minute. This was his first time going out of the country.
first time ever on a
First
plane. I
time
was
ever.
gonna say.
So, I mean, I would love to have him on the pod to talk about this, but it's 9 a.m. as we record this. He's still asleep.
In fact, he wouldn't be up
Um,
till at least 2 p.m.
but I don't know. From what you, I guess, from what you got to experience with Travis, what do you think his first overseas experience was like? Do you think he enjoyed it? Do you think he will be reinvited? to go back to
Oh wow,
Argentina?
my family and them. They all loved having him down here, man. Like he's welcome anytime.
That's
I
awesome.
hope he had a great time. I feel like I showed him a great time. Was there some things I feel like I could have showed him more? Absolutely. But it's his first visit. Hopefully, it's not his last visit to Argentina. So you know,
You're
hopefully he had a
threatening to
good
make
time.
it his last visit.
Yeah, I was definitely sometimes I had to threaten him during the trip, but now all in all, he was honestly he was chill. Like Travis was cool. We had a good time. It was him and my brother Ian. Us three we went.
Oh
So we
wait, okay,
went.
so you had Travis and you had
Yeah,
super mega Drake fan Ian Hamilton with you
yeah,
to go to
yeah,
Lollapalooza.
yeah. Like the meat riding that Ian displayed on this trip is some levels.
Oh no.
Like at some levels, like that you'll only see like on XXX videos or Pornhub. Those are the only times you're gonna see meat levels of that capacity of what he displayed at this Drake concert.
I mean,
And
it
am
must have
I?
been so bad.
It was insane. Like so, the way it worked, right, is that like we only had a pass for one day, right? Because honestly, it's cool. The pass for the whole weekend was chill. Dude, like I said, the lineup was cool. It wasn't necessarily the entire lineup for me. Not enough where I wanted to pay for a weekend pass to see everyone, you know. So I was like, you know what? Let me just go on Friday. So we only went on Friday, so we only had the pass for Friday, right? So my thought process was, all right, we're gonna go there. Not necessarily the whole day, because like I said, a lot of the acts like I just didn't want to see. I really only came to see Drake and maybe Rosalia and maybe see a couple of other Latin American artists. But other than that, like I really only came there to see Drake. So I didn't really care what time we showed up, which was very good because I wasn't trying to be there because it was very hot. And Argentina right now, it's very hot and very humid. So I really was not looking forward to staying there at like 12 p.m. all the way until like 11 p.m. when Drake was getting on to perform. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, that's different because in comparison, when I first went to like Jambalaya in like 2018, 2019, I stayed there the entire day, like 12 p.m. till like midnight. And but this time I was like, you know what? I don't need that. Like, I don't have to stay
Yeah.
there all day. I don't want to stay there all day. Like, I was like, I value my time. I don't want to stay there all day. That's what we did. Like, we we like woke up like a semi amount of time, took a trip around, like saw some more parts of the city, downtown Buenos Aires, and yeah, showed Travis a good time, and then eventually we went to my cousin's house. We all like carpooled from my cousin's house to the concert, which was dope. Shout out Mateus and Agustin, but they definitely showed us a good time, you know. Cause it definitely felt like at some parts that like Travis was like wanting to speak English with somebody besides me and Ian, and luckily my cousins they know English pretty well enough to have a conversation with, you know. So I felt him like I guess would say like have a more like more better, if I want to say that, more better time with my cousins than it would be just with us, you know? Because I get how he
Yeah.
feels sometimes. Like he doesn't speak Spanish, and even though me and my family are translating for him, sometimes it's like sometimes you want to cut out the middleman and just go straight there, you know?
Yeah. And it's hard because well, as you know, I go to Mexico, and when my dad would come with us, he doesn't speak a lot of Spanish either. I think it's just overall the effort that people put into like, and I'm sure your family did the same thing that my family was doing, and it was doing their best, even though they didn't speak English that fluently. They would go out of their way to speak English with my dad, just so that he felt a little more comfortable, just so that it wasn't always his it was all he was always hearing Spanish.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that's really sweet. But I want to get back to Lollapalooza, man, because you said that you guys just wanted to go for the day, and I completely understand that festival like experience, and especially if you would have gotten the whole weekend pass, would have been absolutely draining if you didn't prepare yourself for it, because
Definitely.
that's crazy. But with that being said, you did go on the day that Champagne Poppy Drake was there.
Yes, I did.
How was the crowd, man? I mean, I've only seen Drake for a limited time. I saw him at Astro World, um, and it was only for a limited, like I said, a limited amount of time. But you saw a full Drake set. What was it like, man? What was the environment like? What were people in the crowd doing?
So let me set the scene, right? So,
Okay.
like, for those who've never been to like a festival, let alone Lollapalooza, and Lollapalooza is indeed one of the bigger festivals that are there are in the world, especially Lollapalooza. Because a lot of people think when I say like Lollapalooza, they think of Lollapalooza in Chicago, but like Lollapalooza also does its thing in like California and primarily in South America. So this year, Lollapalooza had a show, I think, in Brazil, Chile, and Argentina. So it was like a whole South American tour, like right. And it was also Drake's first time in South America to perform. He's never been to South America, which is surprisingly because he's been in the game touring for about almost like he's been in the game touring for like 15 years now,
Yeah, I was
and
gonna
he's
say
never
that's shocking. He's never been to South America. This is his
no
first
he's
time.
at least to Argentina, yeah, and
Mm.
like he's never been down there for a tour or anything. Maybe in his personal life, like he may have been down, but he's never been to Argentina. And so like a lot of people were like wondering because Drake is a even though he is the biggest artist in the world, he is also like primarily like a hip hop act. Like that's where he gets his roots from, right? So it was interesting for me like wanted to see like how people in Argentina would receive hip hop. Because hip hop is like the biggest genre in the world. Like, I know it's not for everyone, which is okay. I'm not one of those like hip hop purists that's gonna hate you for not liking the genre I like. But I was also prepared that like he's probably gonna be trying some songs that like he wouldn't necessarily try in the States
He's gonna hit those
because
Text Go Green. He's gonna do
yeah, maybe
those.
a lot of the stuff like on the newer albums. So I was like, all right, like let's see on the set, right? But one thing for sure, for damn sure, is I wanted to be as close as I could to the
Yeah,
stage for the Drake show,
abs- absolutely. I
and th-
completely understand that.
and that's surprising because you know how much I hate like mosh pits and like I wouldn't say hate. I have a strong disdain
But
for like mosh pits and like just crowds in general at concerts. Because even when we were at like the Don Tolliver, I was not trying to fight and go all the
yeah.
way through the front. Ask Jarris when I was at the Tyler the Creator Show, I was not trying to fight and go all the way to the
Hold on.
front.
But wait, two counterpoints here, Ethan. First off, this is a Drake concert. This isn't a Tyler the Creator concert. And two, you have a large human barricade named Travis LaFall with you, who you could just keep in front of you as a meat shield
Like this the
and
whole
work your
time
way through the crowd.
like a riot shield.
Like a riot shield. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
perfect.
No, and that's what. But in my head, I'm like, you know what, Drake is honestly one of my favorite artists, and this probably is gonna be like the only time I'm ever gonna see him live. Hopefully it's not, but it's probably gonna be only one of like maybe one or two times that I see him live because the number of how much it costs to go on the Drake tour, like it's a blur. The tickets went on sale, and it very much confirmed to me that Lollapalooza might be the only chance that I would get to see because those
I know.
tickets are expensive. And one of these days we're gonna extend the conversation more about Ticketmaster, but to continue the story about Lollapalooza. So like me and my brother and my cousins Augustine, Felipe, all of them were like, all right, like we'll follow you. Like we're gonna try to get as close as we can because it's the only guy you guys really want to see, right? So we went like to the show before because you know festivals like they'll do one show at one stage and an hour later it'll be at a different show stage
Y'all stayed at one
and it
stage
bounces.
all day.
Yeah, because we got there like around like 6, 7 o'clock, right? And so we ended up just when we got there at like 6 o'clock, we took a lap around the whole like venue to see all the stages, see what it looked like, see a lot of like the different like shops and like just like festival stuff, you know. And I remember just being like, okay, this is cool. I stayed for like one of the bigger Latin American acts. I think his name was like Trino or something like that. But it was kind of like a mix between like rock and like hip hop. It was a cool show, but I was like, all right, like after I watch this, it's time to lock in. It's lock in for Champagne Papi. So we headed over to the Drake stage. I think around like 8:30 when there was already a show going on. And we're like, all right, cool. Like there's not a lot of people here for because it was a show before the Drake show at that stage. You know,
Yeah.
it was like the third to last or fourth to last show. So we're like, all right, we're gonna stay at this stage, sit for this whole concert. That when the people leave from this show, they're gonna head over to the other stage to go see Rosalia. And when they do, we're gonna push up for the Drake show and see how close we can get. And that's what happened. But I didn't count on the fact of how hot as balls it is in these crowds. It is so insanely hot in concert crowds that I be forgetting every single time how hot it is. So I'm sitting there like shoulder to shoulder. Like luckily I brought a water bottle. I bought a water bottle beforehand and I have like half of it left. And I'm like holding on to it for dear life because I'm like,
No.
dog, I'm dying of heat, and we
Dude.
still have a smooth hour and 15 before Drake comes on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I mean, just to kind of take it back to what we're talking about with this festival is like you were there for just a couple hours. So for those people who've never been to a festival or think about going to a festival, and you're like, oh, I want to buy a weekend pass, just be prepared because it when you are in a crowd like that for hours, actually all day, if you were there like from 12 to 11, like Ethan said, which a lot of these festivals do, stay hydrated, dude. Bring a camelback. Make sure you have water.
Yeah, you don't
Like
want to be
that.
that one guy that ends up having to be carried over like crowd surfing, not in a good way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, not in a
And
good way.
luckily, nothing. I didn't see anything like that happen at Lala, but I just remember sitting in that crowd, and I was like right next to the front railing, and I was like, God, I'm hot as balls, and we still have another like hour left, and I'm like, oh my God. But I did see some tremendous meat riding from Ian that was like insane. Like he was getting arguments with like, you know, because sometimes you talk to people in the crowd and you're just like, oh, just making conversation. That's what we were doing. We were making conversation with people like, oh, like, are you a Drake fan? Like, what kind of songs are you gonna hear? Some people are like, no, I don't really listen to Drake, but I'm excited that he's here. And other people were like, yeah, yeah, this is my favorite Drake song. So we were having conversation. Ian was literally having like arguments about why the song he wanted to hear was the worst choice. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it was a sight to see. I felt like I should have paid for that meat riding. Like it was
Well,
insane.
well, congratulations to Ian Hamilton because he is going to be the first on this show of a new
Yeah, he
segment we'd like to call
meat watch.
With that
Boo
man,
this nigga.
boing boing boing
get
boing
off
boing
of
Yo,
boing.
who
his
made
meat.
this?
He was on meat the entire. He was on Drake's meat the entire show. Which is okay if that's the time. That's the only time where it's acceptable is at a Drake show. You know.
He's calling him
But
Aubrey, right?
yes, he definitely was. In the crowd,
Yeah,
which is insane to call another grown man.
yeah.
To call Drake Aubrey when he does not know that you exist is
He
absolutely
does not know
it,
you.
he does not know you, big bro. It's absolutely insane. But no, all in all, the Lollapalooza show was great. What songs I personally like? I wanted to hear some of Drake's like rapping songs, but I came to terms before the show that that probably wasn't gonna happen. I wasn't gonna hear.
Oh my
I
god.
was gonna hear Tuscan Leather, and I came to terms with it. I wasn't gonna hear Diplomatic Immunity. I
Yep.
wasn't even gonna hear like just like a lot of my favorite rappy rap Drake songs. I was gonna hear, and I was okay with that because Drake has, like I said, Drake's one of my favorite artists, and there's plenty of songs that I appreciate from Drake that aren't those. So if I can remember the songs he performed, since it was his first time in Argentina, I think he wanted to test like the waters of what songs people in the crowd were gonna know. So he played. He came out to Sicko Mode, right? And as I'm talking for the YouTube viewership, I am gonna put some of the videos of the Drake concert that Ian took on the screen right now. It might not be with audio because we're not trying to get copyrighted, but you'll see it on the screen now. But no, so he came out to Sicko Mode. He did Over. He did Find Your Love.
Classic.
Yeah, when he did Over, I was
Classics.
losing my mind. At the beginning of the show was the
Classics.
best part for me. He did Over. He did Find Your Love. He did Hell Yeah Fucking Right, which I didn't think he was gonna do.
Yeah, I know.
He
Crazy.
he, he did I'm On One, which is my like one of my Gage knows how much I love I'm On One. It's one of my favorite Drake songs. One of his best guest verses. If somebody said it was his best guest verse, I would not be bad and I would not argue against it. Um, what else did he play? I'm looking at it right
Shit's
now.
crazy.
He
That's just crazy.
played.
I love that he came out with all of his like original like bangers, like the ones that from Take Care and Nothing Was the Same, like just a few of those ones that just really like kind of got him off the ground. But did he do any of his new stuff? I knew you were kind of excited to hear like the Honestly Nevermind kind of stuff there in that
Honestly,
Argentina
he did.
vibe.
Yeah. I want to see how honestly Nevermind and Her Loss would have hit off, and they honestly did. Like he played Massive, and he played Calling My Name, the song that goes like "You
Yeah,
pussy
yeah.
is calling my name." No, and it was bumping up. I wanted to hear Text Go Green. Yeah, that's my favorite song off the album. Unfortunately, he didn't play that, but he didn't play a lot of songs off of Her Loss. He played, I think, Knife Talk, and that's it.
Is Knife Talk even on her loss? I think it was on Honestly Nevermind. It was the last song on Honestly
No, it's
Nevermind.
no. Knife Talk's not on Honestly Never Mind. That's Jimmy Cooks.
Oh,
Jimmy
you're right. You're
Cooks.
right. You're right. You're right. Yeah, I messed
Jimmy
up.
Cooks. But I'm trying to think.
But
Her.
still, that's crazy. The fact that he only did one. Well, I
He
guess
played a
21
lot.
Savage.
He played a lot of songs from what else he played? He played Energy, Know Yourself, Legend. He played a lot. He played those three off. If you're reading this, it's too late.
So
He
how long
played.
was this set?
Okay, so his set started at 10:15. This is actually a big controversy, like in Argentina, is that his set started at 10:15 and he got on at 10:20, right? Which is a very good time for especially hip hop acts and just music acts in general to start their show, especially headliners,
Yeah.
because headliners are always late. They're always, no matter what, they're always late. And I
Yep.
felt like Drake being a punctual person and like a professional person, it seems like that he would show up roughly in that like 10-15 minute buffer period from when, which is cool with me. Like I've dealt with the fact that like whenever we went to Jambalaya for the first time, Migos was like 2 hours late,
I remember
and
that.
like
I remember that.
Trippy Red was an hour late, and Playboy Cardi didn't even come because he was late, like so late. Like I've dealt with that, so I'm like, oh, Drake shows up in like that 10-15 minute window of when he's supposed to perform. That's cool with me. Like I feel like that was a blessing. I guess it's because the bar is set so low for hip hop acts or just music jacks in general, like headliners to start on time, that it was just like I was cool with it. But a lot of people in Argentina, especially, were very upset that like I was reading reviews of the show afterwards, and they were really upset that he started at 10:20. And I was like, people, let's show some self awareness here. Like headliners never like start exactly at the same time. I'll be very surprised. Like especially if it's not their own tour. Like even when Tyler the Creator came out, he didn't come out exactly 45 minutes after the Cali Uchis like set ended before him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I didn't understand why people are mad. But he was supposed to go out from 10:15 till 11:30, and I think he went from around 10:20 till 11:20. Like he only went for an hour instead of an hour and 15, which is okay. Like I would have loved 15 more minutes of Drake, but I understand like it's his first time in Argentina. He also didn't know how like certain songs would work. For example, right? He played songs like, excuse me, Sicko Mode and Knife Talk and what's the song? Rich Flex, and
Mm.
they would go off, right? But then he would play more songs like Controlla, which I thought would have went off in Argentina. Bro, crickets. The only people in the crowd that you could hear sing Controlla at the Drake concert, at the Drake set at Lollapalooza, was me and Ian. Like we were in
Wow.
the like it was insane. In my head, I was like, I had like PTSD. I thought he was gonna pull like what he did at the Camp Flognog when everybody was being like a bunch of bitches and were upset that it wasn't Frank Ocean that came out. It wasn't Drake, which I remember we talked about on the pod. Oh my god, that was that was some meat watch alert. That Camp Flognog stuff was some meat watch alert. But I thought he
Yeah.
was gonna pull that, and I was like, bro, these people need to start singing because I'm not trying to see Drake leave the show early. I came all the way here. At least give me an hour. You know,
Yeah.
I need an hour of Drake hits.
Yeah. I
Pause.
mean,
That was insane.
damn you. Yeah. We okay.
That
We
was
we.
insane.
I think we need to move on from Drake, or else this
Yeah,
meat watch is gonna get turned on to us, and we're gonna be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
But I would like to say maybe an idea for another segment, another day, is we talk about just like how long a Drake set could really go, because he did an hour at Lollapalooza, but I
And bro,
genuinely think he could do like a 3 hour set of Take Care, Nothing Was the Same, If You're Reading This Is Too Late, and just go on and on and on. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if he did a tour of like just all of his old shit?
no. I
He
would
would.
love a Drake B sides tour. A Drake
Oh
B
my
sides tour would
god,
be. I pay.
I'm there.
I'm there. I'm there. Like a Drake B sides tour. Like, bro, I'm talking like he's in B sides tour playing Pound Cake, Too Much, Tuscan Leather, Bria's Interlude. Like I'm there. And I understand I wasn't gonna hear a lot of the
Hey,
songs. I was
bring
just
out
happy
Wayne,
that
bro. Do believe me too.
yeah. No, Drake too. Like, and that's what like I appreciate so much about Lollapalooza is I got to see Drake for the first time, man. I got to hear at least one Drake B side. I got to hear I'm on one, and it was a great set, man. So for those who have the opportunity to go see Drake, definitely go see Drake in concert. He is definitely, I can comfortably say, one of the best performers on the
Or
planet.
or
Like
if you
he
can or if you can travel, go to Argentina too. I mean, that's another shouts we could do. I think
Yeah, I guess I kind of got to start keep talking about Argentina. Now I'm playing, but that was basically how I felt about the Lollapalooza. Like it was a great time. My cousin Felipe, his first time ever at a concert, and he's a natural. He was in the crowd, moving bodies, boxing folks out of paint. He had a great time. Ian had a great time. Everybody had a great time. So yeah, no, Lollapalooza was amazing, and just Argentina in general was amazing. They showed a lot of love to me, my family, Travis. Yeah, I can't wait. Hopefully in the future I'm able to take some more of y'all. Y'all will bet you make enough money that we can all go. Then I would love to take you guys out because the nightlife is pretty good, and we had a lot of fun.
Ethan, I would have loved to go with you, man, but
I know, right?
unfortunately, I had to
Dude,
stay in
duty
the
calls.
duty calls. I had to stay in the good old United States of America and work here, but it wasn't all bad. I've been chilling. I've been, just working, covering your shifts. Um,
Real one,
because
twin.
twin, I wanted my co-hosts to have a great time in Argentina, but that's not to say that I did not have fun here. Things have been popping on the internet lately, and I want to start with Twitter. And I know we had
Because
some.
everybody loves Twitter
Yeah, everyone loves Twitter,
or
right?
hates it.
Or
One,
hates it.
one or the other.
And either way, you're gonna click on this video and you're gonna click on
Facts.
this TikTok. But I want to start with I know we had talked about what we wanted to, kind of lean into this conversation with the Twitter thing, but something big happened last night that is kind of taking Twitter by storm. Has to do with another hip hop artist. 6ix9ine was beat up in a Florida gym, and did you see the videos?
Yeah, I saw like this. I think the second video of the 6ix9ine, like
Ah,
he got the
crazy.
brakes be off of him. I'm
Dude,
not gonna
he
lie.
was getting stomped in a sauna.
Getting stomped in a sauna is insane.
Stomped in a sauna. Can we title the episode like that?
Stomped in a sauna.
Stomped in a sauna.
Oh my gosh. Is the sauna like the worst place to get beat up in?
It might be because it's just a bunch of other naked dudes just got done working out, and the other guys were just like, like, hey, that's 6ix9ine. Let's kick his ass.
Yeah. Especially too because the floor of the sauna is nasty too. You
Yeah,
gotta think you're
yeah.
laying on the floor and all that black gunk and sweat. You're like,
And
ah,
the blood
ah.
pouring. Like, did
I
you
know.
see all the fucking blood that was
Bro,
coming
he
out
was
of?
getting
Like, oh
he.
my god.
Yeah. No, he
Yeah,
definitely should have stayed home.
it was not his day.
It was not his day. He needed to stay home.
But the reason I bring this up is Twitter is hmm, how do I say this without being controversial? Twitter is controversial. There you go. That's the
Yeah.
word I'll use. Twitter is
Yeah.
controversial.
Yeah.
So people were in there talking about, well, like, oh, well, 6ix9ine deserves it, and it's like, well,
That shit is corny to me. Like you cannot like someone, but let's be honest, you don't know who 6ix9ine is, and 90% of the people are not gonna do anything to 6ix9ine. So
yeah,
why do we do this whole thing?
yeah, you wouldn't do it to him in person, to his face. So I don't know. Just kind of like, I guess, think about what you say on Twitter
Yeah, because I
because
think that's corny. I think it's really corny, which makes you brag. If you remember that one time we did that segment of which rapper we think we could beat up,
yeah, I do actually.
well, I hope to God we don't see that one of these days. Like that's one of those segments of like, dude, they're gonna whoop our ass one day. Like if we get famous and they see this, oh my God, this is the clip they're gonna use right now and back then, and it's the compilation of me and you get stomped out. I'm not looking forward to that. I'm
Do you
not.
remember who we said? I think I said like Lil Dicky just so that like I wouldn't like
Yeah, yeah. No, honestly, honest to
get stomped
God,
out by a real rapper.
yeah.
That
No,
sounds mean, but
honest.
you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean. You don't want to get stomped out by a black rapper. Just say it. I know your truth. I know what you were trying to say.
I think
But
I
I
said
can't remember mine. I can't remember who I said for mine. God, I hope
you
that's one of
probably
those
said
ones where
Logic or something, bro. You got to step out. Like you can't go over here and be
nah,
like,
because I'm
oh yeah, I'd fight YG.
no, because I won't.
No, you
Because I
won't fight
won't.
YG.
Because
No.
I won't. Because I won't. No, but I'm with you though. Twitter's been hilarious this week, and like even though like I was focused on my trip to Argentina and everything like that, the funniest thing for me was the fact that Twitter has now included like you can see the number of bookmarks, and then the rumor of you could see who bookmarks what tweet,
Oh, it's
and
not
it
a rumor. It's not a rumor. I have this.
you can see who bookmarks your
Er,
tweet.
okay, so that's the thing is you can't see who's bookmarking what tweets, right? But you can see how many people have bookmarked a certain tweet. So There's a certain tweet on the Twitterverse right now that has
I know
over
exactly the tweet,
77,000 bookmarks.
and I want you to the audience and for the visual
Yeah.
watchers and the audio listeners, right? I want you to guess what video it could be. Like it could be any video on Twitter. I don't want you to guess, but this video came out last week, right? And when I tell you, if it doesn't represent the like, that might be in the running for the horniest tweet ever. And that's a clip from the new Childish Gambino show called Swarms, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's Franklin Saint from Snowfall beating the doonies out of Chloe Bailey. And when I tell you, I've seen that video at least 30 times, not because I'm horny, not because
Oh,
I
you
have it
bookmarked
bookmarked.
it?
No, I did not have it bookmarked.
You're one of the
I
77,000 people.
Because our friends, and I'm throwing that one of the ones, they have shared this video so many times. Travis has saved that video to his phone. And every single time we were on a trip, yeah, I'm throwing his ass under the bus. He was trying to show it to me and Ian. Like he was like, "Hey, look at this," and then he played it, and we were like, "Bro, how many times do we have to see this video, bro?" Like if that like segment, right, like that section, that bookmark segment, does not represent like the horny part of Twitter, like the horniest that Twitter can be, then I don't know what will. It
Yeah.
would be hilarious though if you could see who bookmarked it.
No, that would be horrible. Like, because I mean, like that would be the messiest shit we would see with some social media platforms in a while. Because I feel like people always use bookmarks for like tweets that they didn't want to like because they didn't want their boss to see it.
Definitely, definitely.
Um, so could you imagine if like now people could click in and see all the tweets you bookmarked? It would be a little weird, but um, I don't
No,
know.
you know what the Twitter bookmarks thing reminds me of when Instagram used to have this thing where you could see what your followers like um and like follow like who else they follow. You remember that like a subsection of Instagram?
I think I do.
It was like for us, it was like early middle school where they had that feature where you could see what your other followers were doing, like what posts they were liking and
Oh
who they
my
were
God,
following.
I remember that.
Bro, I can only imagine. Like I used to hear stories of like people how messy it used to get. Like, cause let's be honest, sometimes you be wanting to get your horny shit off on Instagram or Twitter, right? And you want it to be incognito. Imagine, like, that's the one thing I could appreciate. Like, I never understood, like, when old people are like, oh, I couldn't get away with that stuff now. That's one of those things now. I could not get away with the stuff I be doing on Instagram and Twitter
Yeah.
if they had that feature now. And that bookmark thing where you can, like, see how many bookmarks and then the rumor that you can see who bookmarked it, like, it brought that PTSD for me. Because if we could see who was bookmarking that Chloe Bailey video, a lot of y'all need to go to jail and need to be thrown under it. Cause it is insane, bro. That like, think about it. That show came out like what was it like last like I don't know
Like last week, a couple
like
weeks
last
ago, like
Thursday,
yeah,
Wednesday something, and it already had 70,000 bookmarks. It's absolutely psychotic.
77.4 thousand bookmarks, and that is just on one tweet. So that I'm really interested to see like how many bookmarks, or I guess like what the ratio of bookmarks to likes are going to be on a lot of
Yeah.
that like corn content. I'm gonna say corn so we
Yeah,
don't get
please say corn.
demonetized.
I
Yeah.
already I said Cornhub earlier, and I already know we're gonna get demonetized, but it is what it
No, we
is.
said corn, corn hub.
You're
If you
right.
don't
You're
like
right.
corn, what's wrong with you,
Let's
man? You
sick.
know what I mean though, like corn.
Yes, yes. Of course, corn. You love corn. I see
Yeah,
you
corn.
like.
Elote. Yeah, I've eaten a
I see
lot of
you take part
elote.
in corn all the time.
Take that as you will. Oh man.
But
But
that is something I cannot wait to see in the future of what it's gonna happen with that whole saga
yeah.
of what how much bookmarks are gonna get people in trouble.
Yeah, Twitter's a fun place, man. Always is. But uh what else
It's
I
kind of like
guess.
your this segue is gonna be amazing, by the way.
Oh yeah,
It's
all right,
kind
let's see.
it's kind of gonna be like you're leaving like your digital footprint or like digital breadcrumbs right in a room, right? Which reminds me, like I have a question that has been posed to you, right? And I think this can apply to girls or guys, but it mostly applies to guys, right? Keep in mind, bro, what is some of the most unusual items that a woman has left behind? at your crib?
Man, are you asking just me personally?
I'm asking the audience. I'm
Oh,
asking the
okay.
audience.
Okay, so the
I'm asking
audience
the
can
audience.
comment under this video.
I want to hear the wildest items you found that that somebody has left behind, like a significant other. Like I said, this is more sort of towards this is more geared towards guys and what like women have left behind. But women, if guys have left stuff behind, let us know. I
Yeah.
mean, Gage. But now I flip the question on to you. What is some of the most unusual items a woman has left behind at your crib?
Man, see, I'm gonna sound like such a square because girls don't leave weird shit at my apartment.
They don't be dropping off. It did good enough for
I
this.
guess not. Not to leave not to leave anything of like really real value. Mainly it's just like makeup or earrings. Sometimes it's
Yeah,
like an article of
hairpins
clothing or something. Hairpins. Oh
on
my
the
god.
floor, guys. Just a heads up, guys. If a woman's ever at your crib, and after she leaves, run through your pillow and the floor. It might hurt you. It might pinch. It will save you in the long run. Pick up them hairpins
Hey,
because let's be honest.
hairpins, hair ties. I
Yes,
mean, any of that shit. They just like get lost in your room for
they
years,
don't get
and you're
lost.
like, they're not
They don't get
lost,
lost.
but like, you know
They
what
were
I mean.
carefully planted by CIA operatives. That's what it is. It's no accident that that hairpin is right next to your nightstand. There is no accident.
Yeah, I mean, is that like, is that the way, uh, like a woman marks their territory? I mean,
Absolutely,
someone
absolutely.
let us know in the comments too if this is like a strategized thing. Like you guys leave it in specific places so that we can see it.
What does specific places mean?
Well, I don't know. I'm
That's one thing.
saying
That's one thing we're gonna have to get to the bottom to one day. We're gonna have to figure out what is specific.
nightstand on top of the bed. I don't know. Like
Nightstand. I've had
nightstand,
bathroom too.
bathroom's a good one.
Yeah, I've had people leave stuff in bathrooms under the bed.
Under I've never.
I have had people leave like clothes, like articles of clothing that I shall not name because I don't want to get demonetized. But I've had people leave article of clothing conveniently underneath where my shoes are at. Oh, what's this? Who's this? They're mine. Can't you tell those pink joggers are mine?
Actually pulling up and it's like, you wear Victoria's Secret?
Yeah, those are mine.
Yeah.
No, but I've definitely like I said, like I've had pants, I've had joggers, I've had underwear left underneath my bed. I've had the hairpins. I've had not phone chargers. What else? Yeah, just like hairpins and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
we need to be on the lookout. I wish like you could come up with like not necessarily like a metal detector, but like something like a metal detector that could detect like stuff women leave behind at your crib because it would get men out of so much trouble.
Yeah.
So much.
It's like, no, you're not leaving without taking everything in this apartment.
You're going to take everything that you brought in here.
I got some tracks to cover.
Have you left behind something at a woman's crib?
Uh, if I left something behind, I mean, yes, I have on
What?
accident, not on purpose. And then I went back to get it so that she didn't keep it. I was like, yeah,
Oh, you have to make sure you grab that.
I had to make sure I grabbed it. I was like, I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving.
I'm not
I'm
leaving
not
here
leaving.
without it.
I'm not leaving.
Yeah, I left a sweatshirt there, and I don't
Okay.
know if like she was gonna keep it or what, but I texted her like right after I left. I was like, shit, I left my sweatshirt. I'm gonna come back and get it. I'm not leaving it with you because if
And
I don't see it again,
she tries to hit you with it. No, I'll come drop it off. It's like no.
no, 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 no. I'm coming to pick it
I'll come get it. No,
up.
I've left on purpose. I don't think I'm a liar. I've definitely like left a wrapper here and there. I definitely left food wrappers and other wrappers around.
That's criminal activity. Why
That is
you're just
definitely.
leaving
Oh, hold on.
trash
Yeah,
in a
that's what I
girl's
did.
apartment?
That's what we'll call it. I left trash around
Wink, wink.
at a girl's apartment.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Seriously.
I've definitely left a do rag at an apartment that I had to go get back.
Is that what we're calling condoms now?
That was such a lame ass joke.
Like a dick do rag?
That's a condoms and pink do rags.
That's crazy. A dick do
That's
rag.
insane.
Dude.
That's insane.
That's wild.
Oh my god.
And that's why you join our recording, man. This is
Yeah.
the most entertaining podcast on the planet.
Yeah. You hear a lot about dick do rags.
Take two rags. We got shit. We were talking about Chloe Bailey. What do we want to title this episode? We said getting stomped in a sauna. Like, I mean,
We have it all. We have it all.
where else are you gonna get this quality content?
Facts.
Speaking of quality content, you like that segue,
Have you seen
man?
that Chloe? Have you seen the Chloe Bailey video? I'm just
I
playing.
just that is not where I was going with that. I was gonna say this is a perfect time to talk about or I guess do our next segment.
Let us put you on.
Okay,
Put
all
you
right, all right.
on. All right.
Yeah. Okay,
I
okay, okay.
started. I started last week, so
Okay,
it's your turn.
cool. Well, you tell me. Do you want to start with movies or music this time?
Let's start with music.
Okay. My music suggestion for the week. I'm gonna put on a an artist who is not very well known, but he's exciting, man. His name is Sir Kokaye, and he is a rapper. Um, he draws a lot of influence from Jid. I like him a lot. Doesn't have very many followers right now, but you guys should check out the song Jump. He's also got another really good song called I just had it right here. Sorry about that. Oh, She Want. Yeah, so She Want, Jump. Only one album out right now, but yeah, an up and coming artist, someone I discovered on TikTok. So you guys should definitely check him out. It'll be on the screen, Sir Kokaye. Ethan, what about you, man? What do you got?
All right. For music, I'm probably gonna have to. Last week I did Jordan Ward, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or 2 weeks
Good
ago I
stuff,
did
actually. I
Jordan Ward is up.
yeah, went in and checked out Jordan Ward.
I'm
Like to
definitely I fuck with him heavy. I guess since it was Lollapalooza and I still went and saw Drake, I'm gonna have to pick a Drake song. And I know it's basic and Drake is the basic, but guess what? I'm basic too. So I'm playing a Drake song. And the Drake song that I'm gonna pick, I think I'm gonna pick 4422 featuring Sampha.
Ooh, okay,
I'm going with
okay.
the R&B Drake today, even though I love both sides of Drake. Pause. 4422 Sampha
Damn.
off of More Life. I think
Don't
Drake's most underrated album. It's gonna be that's my
I
song of the week.
okay, see, I was with you the whole way until you said More Life is
I
one
love
of
More Life. I'm a More Life
see,
stan. For me,
I'm not a big More Life
it's
guy,
More
man.
Life. I like More Life over Views. Give me More Life over
Really?
Views any day
Really?
of the week. Yeah, yeah.
Oh man. Dylan's gonna have to put the meat ride
Oh yeah, definitely for me.
stamp
But
over this whole
me watch. Yeah,
section. Yeah,
I'm
the
okay with it.
meat watch.
With that man.
Who this nigga?
Boing, 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 boing,
Get off
boing,
Yo,
boing.
who mans is this?
I'm definitely okay with it. But yeah, no, that's my music pick for the week is 4422
Okay.
featuring Sampha by Drake. And then I guess my movie, because I guess we'll just go back to back, or my TV show. Speaking about the Chloe Bailey vid, if you want to see the Chloe Bailey vid live on your big screen, check
And you don't
out
have to
Swarm.
bookmark it.
Yeah, you have to bookmark it. A and B. It's this show called Swarms on Amazon Prime. It's created by Donald Glover. He was one of the co-creators, and it stars. Let me look who it stars in. That way we have it and show everyone their proper respects. But
Uh, so Ethan, real quick, while you're suggesting the show and finding the cast and everything, what would you do if your mom saw this on your account and she was like, you're watching this show Swarm. Is it any good? Should I watch it?
you know what? If you're into horror, you should definitely watch it. My mom isn't into horror, so she doesn't need to watch it. So see how I got out of that? But
Yeah.
Swarm is a TV show, and it has Dominique Fishback, Damson Idris, Chloe Bailey, a whole bunch of people. For those who don't know, Dominique Fishback is in a bunch of movies. She was in Project Power on Netflix. She was in Judas and the Black Messiah. She was in she's gonna be in the newest Transformers movie. She was in The Hate You Give. She's making quite a name for herself, and she absolutely killed it. For those who don't know, the plot is basically this girl. She is a super fan of a R&B act in their city. It's based in Houston, And this is very important because this relates to the when the last Beyonce album came out, Lemonade. There was a bunch of these were happening. I know we're gonna have to bleep that out, but a bunch of S words that were happening related to the albums, and it was always rumored that like it was like a serial killer that like a Beyonce like super fan that was like running around like killing all these people, right? So Childish Gambino or Donald Glover kind of did a cool spin off of that, and the show is like loosely based on that. And it's basically the super fan that takes it too far, and every time she finds that somebody doesn't like says something negative about her favorite like R&B act, she finds them and she unalives them, and in the most funny, like in the funniest ways possible. Like it's actually like it's very like it's a very dope TV show, and you should watch it. The first season's out. You should watch it. It's very into horror and thriller. It's not too like scary, if that makes sense. Because I'm a person that I hate scary movies and scary shit, but it's more like thriller-esque. It's very funny, very dope to watch. Everybody absolutely kills it. But if you're not trying to see Chloe Bailey's cheeks get thrashed, like skip forward for 15 minutes in the first episode, and you'll be fine.
Oh, the first episode right away.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
That's awesome.
But
well,
it's great. You should watch it. Swarm on Amazon Prime.
Well, I'm adding it to my list. I haven't seen it yet. I'm a big fan of Donald Glover, so definitely going to check it out. I'm going to go with the movie here, and this one's going to be basic, so don't feel bad about your music one, because this is a movie I just saw for the first time with my brother, and I'm going to go with Goodfellas. Yeah, I just saw Goodfellas for the first time, and I loved it. That movie was awesome. It has me talking Italian or like with an Italian accent the entire week. I was like, "Oh, Vinny, where's the fucking gabagool?" Like, I mean, like, there was no reason for me to be talking like that. But Ray Liotta, Robert De Niro, and Joe Pesci just did some. Yeah, Joe Pesci, man, they just all did something to me for that. Like in that movie, I see why it's one of the best of all time. Scorsese. I've been
Goodfellas is a classic. I'm glad you finally watched Goodfellas for the first time.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've been I'm on a Scorsese like binge with Dylan, so I think
are y'all gonna watch The Irishman soon?
I actually have not seen that one, so I think that
it's that same mafia mob vein. Very long, has De Niro. It's basically Goodfellas like part two. That's basically what it is.
Gotcha.
Scorsese fans are gonna kill me, but if you like Goodfellas, you'll probably like The Irishman. It's very long.
Yeah,
longer than Goodfellas. So
yeah, I watched The Departed with Dylan too. I just recently seen The Departed for the first time ever too. That movie was awesome as well. But yeah, so that's put you on. If you guys are interested in that, definitely go check those shows out. Go check those artists out. Really dope. But we're hitting the hour mark here, so I think we'll wrap this up with some NFL free agency stuff. We wanted to talk about it before you left to Argentina, but then I was like, I remember having this conversation with you. I said, well, maybe we should wait because, with all this free agency stuff happening in the NFL, we want to wait until after the big moves are done. And so we can, really review them and talk to them and be up to date with them. And my thought process behind that was that, okay, Aaron Rodgers is going to be one of the big dominoes to fall, and then everything kind of is going to fall into place. All of the big moves are kind of going to get done. And I was right about one thing. A lot of the big moves are done. A lot of the big free agents are off the market, have found homes. There's still some really good players out there, but let me start with the big one. Why the hell is an Aaron Rodgers trade not done yet? Why?
Pain. It's like a slow death.
Dude,
I'm glad that you Packers fans is having a slow death with this Aaron Rodgers. Thank you. I hope he drags this out as much as possible. I hope he doesn't leave. I hope he stays now after all this. He gets Lazard and everybody out of town just for him to stay. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
The thing is, like, I wouldn't have minded that if that was the approach the whole time. But Aaron wants to play with Lazard. He's made it clear. He wants to play with his guys. And I don't know. Also, just like his whole appearance on the Pat McAfee show is just kind of weird too, because like he was saying that like before he went into his darkness retreat, he was like 90% ready to retire, and when he came out, he was like, I still want to play football. And
Yeah,
the way that the Packers organization was talking, they were already like, oh yeah, we're moving on, we're getting Jordan Love. So that's kind of like, are
hold
you
on.
just playing to kind of like, I don't know.
Bro, like the way I saw it was that like, cause you correct me if I'm wrong. Like again, this is your team. This what you follow. But from whatever I was watching, whatever I was hearing, what he was saying, he was like, yeah, I was going in the darkness retreat like 100%, like not 90% confirmed that I was either gonna retire, and if I was gonna come back, I was gonna play for the Packers.
Yep.
And then he said, but once I found out during the retreat that they were trying to shop me around and get rid of me, I was like, well, now I want to go play for the Jets. But then he also said that he's also like not doing this to get back at the Packers, and he's doing this because he wants to play more. But it's like, which one is it?
Yeah.
Which one is it? Like, do you want to keep playing more, or the only reason why you're playing more is because you want to get out of town from Green Bay, or the reason why you're playing more is because you want to get back at Green Bay?
Man,
He's very like I wouldn't say like Kyrie-esque, because they're two different people, and I think it's two different situations. But he is very much like Aaron Rodgers is the diva that people think Kyrie Irving is.
yes, and that's a completely fair like comparison or criticism, because I think like when people do talk about Kyrie, you do like to forget that we have guys like Aaron Rodgers who are doing the same shit. And honestly, he
Very
is
similar. I think
very
I'm
similar.
just
Yeah, like
let's
in the
clear for
diva.
people.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
clear it out for people who don't understand, because we want to be as clear as possible, or as clear as we can make ourselves. Right? There are two different situations, right? And Kyrie Irving with the whole like vaccine and the whole like his own personal like beliefs, and sometimes him saying stuff that he shouldn't say. Two different situations compared to Rodgers. But what I'm saying is like from necessarily like the diva aspect, Aaron Rodgers, for like the career, the persona that he portrays himself. Because me and Gage do not know him as a real person. So by the small chance that Aaron Rodgers sees this, we're not talking about Aaron Rodgers the person. We're just talking about Aaron Rodgers the persona, right? So let's clear that out, right?
yeah.
But he is very much like very much. Sorry, people are like vacuuming right next to my room right now. I hope it's not
he's
too loud.
he's opinionated. He's gonna say what he wants.
But
He's
this
gonna
is very.
get it off his chest.
This has been going on very much for the past like 6 or 7 seasons. Every off season is this circus, right? And now
Yep.
we're seeing the culmination of it. Like,
Well, I mean, honestly, we have to put some blame on the Packers organization, and I hate to say that because I'm a Packers fan. I love the Packers, but this is the way I saw everything go down. Is when the season ended, I kind of had a feeling that this was going to be Rodgers last year. I was like, it didn't make sense that they were going to run it back with the same team without Devontae Adams and just throw a bunch of rookie wide receivers at Aaron and say, figure it out. And we got the results of what this season was, a failure. And when Aaron walked off with Cobb, I think every Packers fan kind of knew that this was going to be the end, right? And the initial conversations after that, where the Packers were like, oh, yeah, Aaron, if you want to come back and you want to retire a Packer or you want to come back and play, you are welcome to do so. And this is where I kind of like sympathize with Rodgers, where he said after the retreat, things completely changed. It did kind of feel like that, where like the Packers were kind of just saying what they wanted Aaron to hear was like, oh, yeah, we love you. You can come back next year if you want. But deep down, they were really like, we want Jordan Love to be the quarterback next year. We don't want Aaron to be here. We'd rather trade him or we want him to retire a Packer. Those are our two options. And that's kind of where they've like locked themselves into a corner now, and why we're still waiting on a trade, because they're trying to figure out the compensation, and they think that they should be getting this much for Rodgers. And all of these conversations about leverage, I'm actually interested to hear what you have to think about that, because, from a third person Cowboys fan looking in on the situation between the Jets and the Packers, who do you think has more leverage?
before he came out with the interview saying he wants to go to the Jets, and before the whole like at the very beginning of the offseason, before the Derek Carr situation, Jimmy Garoppolo, everybody getting signed, I would have said the Packers had I would have said the Jets had the leverage, right? Because they were able to pretend like they were shopping around for Derek Carr, Jimmy Garoppolo, Lamar Jackson. When in reality, they always wanted Rodgers. But the minute each one of them got signed, it was like Rodgers was the only person left because they burned their bridge with Zach Wilson, and they weren't going to run it back with him. And Gino, Garoppolo, everybody got signed. So the Packers had all the leverage, right? And they could have leveraged themselves to get a first-round pick or get multiple first-round picks, which Aaron Rodgers definitely deserves at least one first-round pick. But the minute Aaron Rodgers came on that Pat McAfee show and says, I only want to play for the Jets, the Packers lost it all because now you're probably not going to be able to get a first for Rodgers.
Well, that's kind of where like I'm looking at it.
Or at least multiple top 100 picks you're probably not going to be able to get.
That's fair. I've always been realistic that the Rodgers has an albatross of a concert. They don't know how much longer he's going to play. I get it. We probably won't get multiple first round picks, but what I'm having a hard time understanding now is both sides, both teams, both organizations, both fan bases know that this is the direction that the teams are going to move in. And now we have both fan bases just going crazy, just like waiting for anticipation to see, like, is this going to happen? And let me just say, Jets fans would fucking riot if they weren't able to get an Aaron Rodgers trade done. Because like you said, if they don't get Aaron Rodgers, who are they playing at quarterback next season? It's not Zach Wilson. It's not Mike White. Are they going to draft another quarterback in the first round?
Yeah. No,
I don't know.
It's going to get done, but it's definitely going to be hilarious to see how long this drags out.
Whatever, man. I'm just ready to move on. I'm ready to see Jordan Love play. I'm excited for just overall the new NFL season. It's a new life. It's a new
we still got 5 months left of the next season.
We do.
And I'm one of those people, I've talked about this, I be needing breaks from sports sometimes. So I be enjoying sometimes the off season, like where I don't have to follow every single day. I don't have to get my anxiety all the way up worrying about the fucking shitty Cowboys hurting my fucking heart again.
But Ethan, this is like one of the best parts of like sports though, is like the free agency periods, the transfer periods.
Absolutely, but also I try not to get too invested anymore because I want to like just save myself, you know?
Yeah, like compress.
I don't want to be at a 10 all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me sit at a 2 or a 3 for like 3-4 weeks. Like that, I've earned that. I had enough pain. Let me sit at a 2 or a 3. But I guess like let's keep talking about free agency as a whole. Like I wanted to ask you, right? Now that the first like week or two have gone so far in free agency, and most of the big free agents have been sent to their new homes.
I already know what you're setting me up for.
Who has won free agency so far?
God damn it.
In the NFL.
God damn it. You're going to make me say it, aren't you?
I am.
I fucking hate it because I've been telling you all off season.
You don't have to say them specifically. We can lead up to the team I'm talking about that I want you to say. But who to you has been some of the best teams so far this NFL free agency?
Well, I think the first team, and this is one that pains me to say. I'll get to the one that I know you want me to say, and that I'm sure we will talk about. I'll start with my in-division rival, the Chicago Bears. Man, when they started just by trading that first pick and getting DJ Moore back, getting a lot of draft capital back, and then making some really smart moves in the offseason to build that O-line, get Justin Fields some weapons. This is a team that is going to be ready to compete for the NFC North, if not this year, in the very near future. So I really like what the Bears have done. Just a lot of the rebuilding teams, man. They look like they're starting to get their shit together. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with. But what about you, man? What moves are kind of making your head? I see you smiling. I know we're gonna get to it. Do you want me to just talk about it right now?
I want to say it.
Okay, you can go ahead.
I'm sorry, Jerry Jones. I didn't believe you. I didn't believe you.
I thought he died. I was like, dude, there's no way.
You made me look like a boo-boo, the fucking fool, and I'm so happy. Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. This has been the best Cowboys off season. We'll see how it ends with the draft and the holes we were able to cover up. But so far as free agency, this is the best free agency the Cowboys have ever had in my lifetime.
And
trading a 5th-round pick for Stephon Gilmore, who's a borderline Pro Bowl player, right? And then trading another, was it a fifth and a sixth for Brandon Cooks, a walking 1,000-yard receiver.
This is the one right here, Brandon Cooks. Brandon quarterback.
Oh,
Boo him.
Hey, come on, all of us. 1, 2, 3. Boo. Boo. That adds speed and deep ball threat to the Cowboys offense that desperately needed it. They're doing work. I've loved CeeDee Lamb. I think he's a top 7, top 6 receiver in the NFL. I think Michael Gallup, he caught a lot of flack last year. I think we got to wait for him one more year to see if he can get back to pre-injury form. But Brandon Cooks adds that speed to that dimension that the Cowboys sorely have been missing for the past 2 years, right? And they basically the Cowboys have tried their best with these 2 trades to right the wrong of, even though they're finally admitting how bad that Amari Cooper trade was a year before and how much it handicapped that offense. I just love the fact that they actually went out and did that, because it makes the Cowboys getting Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore have covered up 2 holes that they desperately needed, a wide receiver and a cornerback too. And it makes the Cowboys doing a bunch of their re-signings so much sweeter. Us re-signing Donovan Wilson, us re-signing Leighton Vander Esch, us re-signing Dante Fowler. Like, it makes the Cowboys, it makes me happy. It makes me warm inside that the Cowboys are actually doing something in free agency. Let's be honest, I would have loved the idea of Odell Beckham Jr., but I love the idea of giving a 5th-round pick for Brandon Cooks a lot more. Because let's be honest, Brandon Cooks in the last 3 years has been healthier than Odell Beckham Jr. and more reliable than him, even though Odell Beckham Jr. is extremely talented. And one of these days, you're going to have to do a my bad on when you and Jason Collins gassed Odell Beckham Jr. of still being a top 10, top 12 receiver. That y'all gassed it. Y'all gassed it because he had a great run with the Rams, but he's not like that anymore. Because me personally, I'd rather pay what we did for Brandon Cooks than the maybe of what we're going to get with Odell. Because let's be honest, Odell's not going to play a full season. And I don't have to do the guarantees with Brandon Cooks that I have to do with Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah,
you know?
His contract is already set. Well, I'm glad you're feeling happy. I'm glad that this is a change of pace for you, because again, I had to wipe my eyes and say, no, what? The Cowboys released Zeke. They did something smart. They traded for Stephon Gilmore. They traded for Brandon Cooks. What is going on here? Did Jerry Jones die and they got a competent GM?
Bro, we and I love Zeke, and I think Zeke, even though he's not an all-timer, he's very good, and he's very close to being one, and I thank him forever. He's definitely in the line. He did a great service to Dallas Cowboys fans, and you're not going to hear any bad words from me about Zeke. You're not going to hear that. But the fact that we were able to finally let go of Zeke, that we should have done 2 years ago, right? We got Tony Pollard on a franchise tag, right? And I think Tony Pollard's a top 7 running back in the league. That's a conversation we can have for another year, but I think he's that good, and he's been that good for the past 2 years. And we were able to sign a guy like Ronald Jones, who's a very competent RB2. It does 2 things. We get the money away from the Zeke contract, A, and B, we take away the temptation of having to draft Bijan Robinson, which I would love Bijan Robinson. Should we draft Bijan Robinson or Jahmyr Gibbs in the first round? Absolutely fucking not. The Cowboys won't learn their lesson. I think that's what they're trying to do right now. They're trying to take temptation off the table. Because I'm with them, right? Now, there's absolutely no excuse that the Cowboys should draft Bijan Robinson if he's there at 26. We absolutely shouldn't draft him.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Don't try to tempt me. Don't try to do it. That wizardry you're trying to do.
But no, Ethan, think about it, though, because you have Pollard on the franchise tag. Is he going to want to play on the franchise tag? Are you going to want to pay him? Would you rather have a stud running back, basically the best running back prospect we've seen since Saquon Barkley, coming in, and you get him for 4 years on a cheap rookie deal until you have to pay him eventually?
But that's you're going to get in the same cycle. We're going to probably give Pollard a long-term contract. He's on a franchise tag right now. Why don't we just learn our lesson and not either pay Pollard a long-term or don't draft a running back? There's no point.
But you have to draft. I mean, you can't just sign running backs.
In the first round, We just signed Ronald Jones.
Okay, yeah, you don't have to draft one in the first round, but I
That's
mean,
what I'm saying. We don't have to draft one, and I love Bijan. And if he's the last choice, let's put it like this, right? The only position I don't want the Cowboys to hit more than running back is tight end. If I see the Cowboys draft any of these tight ends, I'm going to lose my mind in the first round.
with the first pick, no, with the first round pick, the Dallas Cowboys select Dalton Kincaid, tight end.
I'm going to lose my mind. Especially because we played Dalton Schultz, like the Dalton Schultz contract perfectly. We got him on the 1 year. He had an okay year. He was injured. Dak was injured too. So they weren't able to click as much as they were the year before. But when they both got healthy towards the end of the season, they both were very good. We also have Peyton Hendershot and Jake Ferguson waiting in the wings. And that combo, I think, is going to do what Schultz was doing. But if I have to see us drafted tight end in the first round, I'm going to die. Like, I'm going to be so sick. But that's what I'm saying. I don't want to see, like, other than tight end, I don't want to see Bijan or Jahmyr Gibbs. Even though I would love both of them. But it just defeats the purpose of getting rid of the Zeke contract. Because now we're paying a lot of money to Pollard, and we're probably not going to pay Pollard because we have Bijan and Ronald Jones. Like,
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you can let Pollard walk. I mean, I feel like running back.
We already signed him to the franchise. Like, he's gonna play on.
Is he gonna want to play on the franchise tag though?
He's gonna play on the franchise.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
but it's like I'm just happy they're taking temptation off the table. You know? Because now the Cowboys are in a position that they're able to draft BPA if they want to. You know, hopefully, I'm leaning towards. I really want O-line, but they're able to draft BPA if the time comes. Like, and that's all I ask. That's all I ask.
Okay, so real quick, I'm gonna do another honorable mention for another team that I think put themselves in a good position to succeed. Is the Denver Broncos, who got Sean Payton. They've added a bunch of pieces to the O-line. Rumors are that both or one or either of the receivers, Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton, are on the trade block. So we might be seeing one of those guys move. Yeah, I've heard the reports that both of them are too, but it'll be interesting to see.
Asking for too much. I think they're asking for too much. I think they want
I agree.
First or multiple firsts for either one of them.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
I agree. I think that's too much, but besides that, I think the moves the Broncos have made have been pretty good. Set Sean Payton up with success to where, like, if they are bad next year and it's because of Russ, it'll be fairly obvious. Yeah. I'm going to do a dishonorable mention to the Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
I mean, we've been talking about it all offseason, man. Just pay Lamar Jackson. Why do you trade for Roquan Smith and throw him the biggest linebacker bag for an off-ball linebacker? And don't get me wrong, Roquan Smith's he's a dog. But you're not going to pay your MVP quarterback.
I'm with you.
I don't get it, man. You're a loser in my book. Baltimore Ravens, I'm sorry. Get it done.
I guess we can do a dishonorable mention. I can get some hate off real quick. You Philadelphia Eagles fans.
Oh, I knew this was coming.
You guys, I had all the talk all year about how good Darius Slay and James Bradbury were and how good this secondary was. And the fact that y'all got torched the way y'all did in the Super Bowl, and the fact that, like, y'all literally lost Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, right? Y'all lost TJ Edwards. Y'all lost Javon Hargrave. And then y'all tried to ship Darius Slay to us. And y'all let that info come out that y'all didn't want him. And then y'all were going to release him just for y'all to sign him to an extension. Y'all look like bozos. Y'all look like bozos, fans. Because the fact that they wanted to trade Darius Slay to us, the Cowboys, tells you all you need to know of how they view him. All you need to know how they view him. Cope. I'm fine with y'all re-signing James Bradbury. He's a good cornerback too. CeeDee Lamb eats his lunch for breakfast every time they play. So I'm happy y'all have lunch for breakfast.
Eats his lunch for breakfast. Okay, that's pretty good.
I'm happy. Let me get this hate off real quick. I'm happy y'all re-sign him. Please re-sign him. Darius Slay too. I don't care. Any which way, both them can get it. I'm happy because it'll never be the same. Even though he got the extension, if I'm happy for Darius Slay too. It's like Darius Slay was able to flip this whole situation around to get a new contract. And now Eagles fans are the only ones that look like Boo Boo the fucking fools. And I'm
And
okay with it because the Eagles have gotten worse this offseason, right?
that's all that
Considerably
matters to you,
worse.
right?
That's all that matters to me. And the Cowboys floor, right? This offseason, next season, the Cowboys floor, because now the expectations are genuinely high for the Cowboys this next year. Because the Eagles have got considerably worse.
The
The
Giants
Cowboys,
got better though, adding
Giants got a
Darren
little bit
Waller.
better. The Washington, Darren Waller, we'll say that for another. Darren Waller hasn't been a Pro Bowl level tight end for the past 2 years, really 3
Ooh,
years.
that's a bold take, man.
So it don't. But I'm happy for them. Not really happy for them, but I mean I'm glad they're getting Darren Jones some more weapons. Now they just gotta get him a receiver.
He still
But
stinks. I don't know why they paid him,
he's very
but
big.
that's
That's how the
conversation.
market
Yeah,
works.
conversation for
That's
another
right.
day. We might need to
Yeah,
bring Cam on to talk about
yeah.
that.
What else? 'Cause we're trying to wrap up. Yeah, no. They owe me an apology. Eagles fans owe me an apology. They need to cope. Yeah, the Cowboys' floor for next season should be divisional round. The team is the exact same. Plus, we have a cornerback too, and we have another wide receiver.
Yep, I think
So
it's
expectation. I know it's still to it. The expectation is divisional round.
yeah. I think it's like
the floor is divisional round. The expectation is conference championship next year.
yeah.
Dak and Mike McCarthy. We got you a cornerback too. We got you another 1,000-yard receiver. We're probably gonna beef up the O line and get one more weapon. Like for both of them, I love Dak. I'm a Mike McCarthy defender, right? And he's been proving me right so far. No excuses. It should be NFC Championship or bust this year.
Oh man,
Which I know you're
Ethan,
happy to hear.
You're setting yourself up
I
for
know.
major disappointment again, my
A
friend.
broken clock is right twice. A broken clock is right twice.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I guess we'll see. I think like on paper, these are really some of the best moves that the Cowboys have made in an off season since I've been alive. And like you said, I think they really are in a good position to attack this draft, attack their needs, just add some depth. Because they've got some really good players at all of their starting positions. So we'll see it happens. We got the NFL draft coming up in April. And we'll be putting out some more content on our recording page. So if you guys like football content, basketball content, all that stuff, make sure y'all tune in.
Make sure to subscribe and like to the channel.
Yeah.
Let us know. I know we talked about it in the episode. Let us know y'all's concert experiences. We like, retweet, whatever you comment. We got y'all. Also, let us know what items have significant others or even sneaky links and stuff left behind at y'all cribs. Let us know.
Yeah.
We want to see some of the most unusual stuff that y'all have.
Yeah. Also, want to give a shout out to Dylan and Xavier doing our some movie reviews on our Instagram and TikTok. So make sure y'all go check those out. Those are really cool, really well done. Yeah, we're also getting back into vinyl days. So if you like vinyl record content, make sure y'all follow our Instagram, our recording podcast.
But anything else? Oh, I'm gonna give a shout out. Like I said, shout out to my family in Argentina. Shout out to all my cousins. I know they're watching this. They're a lot of our subscribers, so I appreciate them. Sean, Travis, and all of us just love in general.
That's awesome.
Shout out to Felipe for his first concert, and he got to go see Drake. So it's only down from here, buddy.
Well, I think that's a great way to end the episode, man. Again, our recording. Thank y'all for watching. It's been the Young Rottweiler, Ethan Hamilton.
I gave a Brody-esque roar.
Yeah. And I'm 007 Gage Sutton. Thank y'all for watching, and we'll see y'all next week.